Welcome to the Leading Edge Podcast with Eric Thompson.
Inspire, perform, profit.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Leading Edge Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Thompson, and this is episode number 12. We've made it to a dozen podcasts. I so appreciate all the engagement, all the enthusiasm around this podcast, all the feedback. Keep it coming. I love it. This one is going to be focused on the morning ritual, the morning routine, what happens for you first thing in the morning. All right, I'm going to walk you through what it's meant for me in my life, like how it's changed my life, literally. We'll go through why this is so important in the first place. So why so much focus on the morning? I'm going to tell you my morning routine, just so you kind of get an insight into me and maybe get some ideas on how you can structure yours. And then I'll give you a framework for how you can think about your morning routine. I think just a simple framework that pretty much is going to work for anyone. And then we'll be done. All right. So that's the plan for this podcast. All right. So, gosh, for me, and I'm always careful to say that, the one thing or the biggest thing or the most important thing. And I'll tell you that the morning routine has been, if not one of the most significant differences in my life. When I really committed to a fantastic and enriching and empowering and energizing morning routine, it literally changed my life, all right? Julie and I joke now because when we first were dating and first living together, she was a teacher, and so she would be out the door pretty early in the morning. And oftentimes she would be waking me up as she would be leaving the house. She'd be leaving the house around 7:15, 7:30. She'd be waking me up at that point. Now I'm up, hours before anyone else in the home, and I'm doing so much in the morning. I'm super productive in the morning. And there's just such a vast difference between my life now and when Julie and I were first together, to think about how my mornings are so much different and the impact that it's had on my life. So specifically, I am way more energized, I'm way more focused, I'm way more intentional, I'm way more positive. I'm in much better physical shape, much better mental shape. I am just so much more clear about where I'm going, about what I want to accomplish, have such a big belief in myself that's really evolved, and it's all because of the morning routine. It's all because of, a relatively short amount of time that occurs for me in the morning has made a massive difference in my life. All right, a good friend of mine, Bill West, a good realtor friend of mine, Bill West, he calls his morning ritual the daily massaging of the brain, and I love that. I love that kind of that metaphor and that analogy. Think about you're massaging your brain in the morning. You're just getting yourself ready for what it is that you want to accomplish, right? So the morning routine, the morning ritual has meant the world to me. And I encourage you to take a close look at your morning routine, your morning ritual, no matter where you are with it. So maybe you're already committed to a certain level of morning routine. Maybe you don't have any ritual or routine at all. No matter where you are in the spectrum, I encourage you to take it even further, take a close look at this and just experiment with some things. And that's another thing I'll share about me personally, is that over the years, this has been an experimentation. It's been an evolution. My morning routine today looks a lot different than it did even 5 years ago, maybe even like 3 years ago. It's a lot different. It's really evolved. I believe now I've really nailed it and I found something that really works. But you also have to go into this understanding that it will change over time, and just allow it to change, let it become yours, let it become something that you really own. It's really personal, it's customized to you, and something that is just going to make a significant impact on your life. So why all this focus on the morning routine in the first place? So, I'm not the only one to be talking about the morning routine and the morning ritual. There are lots and lots of other people who focus on this. And you may have already studied this, heard about it, read about it. And I'll just add to it. I'm going to make some additional points here. So why the morning routine in the first place? Well, a few things about the morning. First of all, it's first. All right. So it's the first thing that happens. The way it turns out is that most of us sleep during the night, and because we're awake during the day, we have day jobs, we have things happening during the day, so we are up in the morning. It's a fact of life, as simple as that sounds. And because it's first, we must capitalize on the fact that it's first. All right, it's the first thing that's happening. It's our first experience of the day. It's our first chance to take in the day. It's our first chance to decide what will be happening for us during the day. The thing about the morning is it is first. So let's capitalize on first. So there's that old adage, there is no second chance to make a first impression. So it's your chance to make a first impression on the day. It's a chance for you to make a first impression on yourself for that day. So first reason why mornings are so important is because they're first. Another reason why mornings are so important and so valuable is because it's quiet, right? It is quiet. I don't know about you, but my house gets pretty active. There hits a point during the day where my house is kind of buzzing and it's active. There's a lot going on, a lot of noise. It's all good stuff, right? It's all happy, good stuff. There's a lot of life in my home. Your home, I'm sure, is the same way. And there is value too, though, in being quiet, all right? So that quiet time is so important, and that's why mornings are so special, is because they are quiet, right? So you can be either the first one up or maybe the second one up in your home. You can find a quiet spot in your home. You can eliminate noise and outside influences, and you can take advantage of the quiet and really use that quiet to your advantage. Another thing that makes mornings unique and special and valuable is that you can be in control. You have the opportunity to be pretty much in 100% control of what's happening in your world in the morning. And you cannot say that about, just think about 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock. Think about all the different things that are happening at those points in the day and how much control you have during those times. And no matter what level of control it is during those times, I'll argue it ain't 100%, right? You may feel like you have some control over your schedule during the day, but you don't have 100% control. I know for me personally, I sure don't have 100% control starting at around 4:35 when the girls got to get picked up from their after school program and come home, and we got to focus on homework and all those kind of things. I sure don't have much control, and I don't have much control as the day is going along, as interruptions come up, people need help, people have questions, things that need to be addressed that crop up, the ringing phone, the emails pinging, the text, whatever. Those things you can eliminate in the morning. You can get in 100% control of your world first thing in the morning. Another reason why, and maybe the biggest reason why the morning is so valuable and so important, is that the research shows that this is when your brain is at its best, all right? It's when your brain is on, really firing. It's on full alert. The research shows it's when your brain is at its most creative. It's the most creative time of the day for your brain. So it's the chance to really think big and brainstorm and imagine what you want things to look like, how you want things to go. It's a great time to plan and strategize, really tap into the creative resources in your brain. You can do that best first thing in the morning. Now, I'll say in the same breath, it's not like the second you roll out of bed, I'm talking about maybe a half hour out of bed once the coffee's rolling, right? Once the caffeine is in your system. But, pretend we're now, past the initial groggy stage. What the research shows is that is the time your brain is at its best, all right? So that's why the morning is so important. It's first. It's quiet, you can be in 100% control, and that is when your brain is at its best. I'm going to walk you through now my personal morning routine. I don't share this because I think that you should exactly copy it. That's not the point of this, but I thought you may be curious to know, and maybe there'll be some little nuggets here. Maybe there are some things that you want to emulate or copy or tweak and modify and adapt just for you. Do with this what you want. I want you to pay attention to the things that I do and also the things that I don't do. I think that's just as interesting as to look at the things for me that are not happening in the morning, the things that I've eliminated from the morning for me that have made a huge difference, right? So for me, my alarm is set at 5, and I'm usually out of bed between, say, 5:10 and maybe like 5:25. I definitely hit snooze. I've heard some people kind of give other people a hard time for hitting the snooze button. I don't, I don't agree with that. There are days, you got to hit the snooze button, and I'm just fine with that. It takes me at least one snooze button's, worth to get out of bed, and I'm cool with that. I don't beat myself up over that. Usually out of bed after one or two, sometimes 3 snoozes, but usually 1 or 2 presses of the snooze button. I roll out of bed. So I'm out of bed, around 5:15. 5:20, something like that. And then first things first for me, I get in the shower. I need a shower to wake up, get the sleep out of my eyes, literally, figuratively, and just feel more alive and awake. So I shower and then roll downstairs and I get the coffee brewing, right? So coffee is, I don't know about you, coffee is pretty darn important to me. It's like way up there on the list of important things. So got to get the coffee rolling. Drink a big glass of water, and then while the coffee's brewing, the first thing I do is I read. First things first for me is I read. I'm always reading a great business book or marketing book or mindset book. I love to read, so I'm usually reading for about 10 minutes in the morning, and I can read between 5 and 10 pages during that time. And for me, that's plenty. I get some good nuggets. I get some good takeaways. If I come across a great line or quote, and when I'm reading, I'll log that in. You guys know that I love quotes, and so that's my chance. Making notes about what I read. I'm highlighting. I'm dog-earing pages. Maybe I'm saving something for later, something I'm going to teach other people. But I'll read for about 5 or 10 minutes. Usually, by then the coffee's done brewing, so go grab my cup of coffee, and then I write. So that's the second thing I do. First thing I do is I read. Second thing I do is I write. So I have a journal that I keep right here at my desk, at my little special spot where I hang out in the morning in my home office. I keep a little journal, and here's what I write. So it's 1 page per day, and I've gotten this down to kind of a great framework for me in terms of what I write. So and the way it goes is 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So I have this little framework, 4, 3, 2, 1. The 4 is I write down my grateful fours. So I make a list of 4 things that I am grateful for that day. And the reason why I do that is, boy, you talk about a way to get yourself in a positive state of mind, an open state of mind, an energized state of mind, is to write down things that you are grateful for. I'll tell you, always number 1, always number 1 is Julie. Julie always makes the list at number 1. The person I am most grateful for, and I not only write down her name, but I write down why. So I write down why I'm grateful for her, and that'll change from day to day. But I just really become aware and get focused on and conscious of why I'm so grateful for Julie. My kids are always number 2. And I'll not only write down their names, but I'll write down why I'm grateful for my terrific 2 little girls who aren't so little anymore, right? So I'll write down why I'm grateful for them. And then number 3 and number 4 will change every day just based on what I'm focused on, based on what I'm aware of that day. So I'll write down 2 more things that I'm grateful for. Oftentimes I'm grateful for the opportunities I have. I'm grateful for where I live. I love that I live in Colorado. I'm grateful for my health. Grateful for my fitness. I'm grateful for my friends. I'm grateful for my family. Grateful for the people that I get to work with and partner with. And those kind of things make the list quite often, right? So I'm starting again with my grateful fors, 4 things I'm grateful for. Then I write down my 3 big intentions for the day. So I'll glance at my schedule and I'll look at the major things I have happening during the day, the major things that I want to accomplish, and I'll write out my 3 intentions for the day. Now, super important, this is not a to-do list, all right? I'm not writing a to-do list. I'm not just writing down, I need to call so-and-so. But it's getting clear on, all right, I'm going to make this phone call, and this is the state of mind I'm going to be in, and this is the outcome that I expect. This is the outcome I want from that phone call, from that conversation, from that meeting, from that work that I'm going to do. So the difference between this and a to-do list is I write down the outcome that I want to have happen. So that way I step into the day being super clear about the outcomes that I want, all right? So I already know exactly how I want the day to unfold when it comes to these major events or appointments or occurrences, projects that are happening for me during the day. Again, I write down my 3 big intentions. Then I write down 2 people that I want to focus on during that day. So again, we're going 4, 3, 2, 1. The 2 are, I write down 2 people I want to focus on during the day. Frequently, these are people that I work with, and for whatever reason, I'll bring that person to mind and think about, okay, I really want to focus on this person today. And this is specifically how I want to help them. This is the feedback I want to give them. This is the question I want to ask them. This is something I want to learn from them. This is how I want to coach them, how I want to help them. This is how I want to maybe help them, maybe help move the relationship to a new place. But I write down 2 people that I'm focused on during the day. Sometimes I'll write down, there'll be personal things. Maybe it's a friend, or maybe it's Julie, maybe it's the kids. But oftentimes 2 people that I work with or I partner with, I'll write those down, 2 people I want to focus on during that day. And then the one, again, we're going 4, 3, 2, 1. The one thing I write down every single day is my personal mission statement. So I write down my personal mission statement simply as a way just to remind myself of what that is. And by the way, if you're curious, it's my mission statement personally is I inspire and equip leaders to courageously live out their potential. I inspire and equip leaders to courageously live out their potential is the personal mission statement I've come up with for me. So there you go. So so far I've read for 10 minutes. I've written now, and usually that's 10 minutes. At that point, there may be a chance to work on a project. So maybe there's something big I'm working on. Maybe there's some writing I have to do. I write emails periodically. You know, there's some things that I'm going out kind of on a that are super scheduled that go out. You know, emails and blogs and newsletters and things like that. So that's my chance to write. So, and then what I do is I go work out. So I work out in my home. I work out in my basement. And I know some people like going to the gym. I don't like going to the gym. I like the quiet and the ability to just focus on my own exercise. So I work out every single morning. And by the time I'm done, and usually for about a half hour, so it's just quick, but it's super intentional, super focused exercise. By then, now it's 7 o'clock. So now it's 7 o'clock, and think of all that I've accomplished during the day. So I've read, so I've got some good nuggets into my brain. I've done some writing. I've gotten really intentional. I'm focused on what I'm grateful for. I've worked on maybe getting ready for other projects or doing some writing. I've exercised now at 7. Now it's time to wake up the girls. So I wake up the girls at 7, and we have breakfast together, and then I take another shower because I've exercised. Now we're going to take another quick shower, get dressed, I'm out the door. So I'm usually out the door by about 7:45. That's about when the girls are out the door too. And so by 8 o'clock, I've accomplished some massive things in my life. Now, what you didn't hear me say is I'm not on my email in the morning, certainly not first thing in the morning. I'm not watching TV, and I don't have the news on. I'm not into my social media. What I'm doing is I'm just being really intentional about what's happening and about what's not happening. So a big reason why I'm able to do all these things is because of what I'm not doing. So I'm not bogged down in answering emails. I'm not bogged down in doing things that aren't going to positively impact my mindset and my brain. I'm not doing things that will throw me off track from what I want to accomplish during the day. I only do things that align with what I want to get done, that align with my goals, all right? So here's some framework for you. I'm going to give you 3 things to focus on, and I want you to understand this metaphor, first of all, before I take you through the 3 parts of the framework. The metaphor is of a sponge, all right? Your brain is like a sponge, and first thing in the morning, your brain is a dry sponge. I don't know about you, but when I wake up in the morning, I'm thirsty. I always have to drink a big glass of water when I wake up first thing in the morning. I believe your brain is the same way. Your brain is super thirsty first thing in the morning. Your brain is like a dry sponge. So it's going to absorb anything that you give it. So if you choose to give it, some negative news, and there's certainly plenty of negative news out there right now, just check your Facebook feed or flip on whatever news network that you watch. There's all kinds of negative stuff to input into your brain. And so why not give your brain some positive stuff, knowing that it's a dry sponge first thing in the morning, knowing that it will absorb really anything that you give it. Why not give it something positive, something energizing, something helpful like reading? All right. So just understand that metaphor as we go through this. So the 3 parts of the framework is this. I want you to focus every morning, focus on your mind, number 1, your body, number 2, and your soul, number 3. So every morning, you're working to build your mind, your body, and your soul. In no particular order, you choose the order, whatever works for you, but you focus on your mind, your body, and your soul. So we're going to build our mind. How do we build our mind? Well, an easy way is through reading. So find a great book, find a great business strategy book. Like right now, I'm looking my bookshelf, Good to Great. Good to Great is a classic. That's a great book to read first thing in the morning. So find a great business strategy book. Maybe it's a marketing book or a sales book, or also it's a mindset book. There are lots of terrific mindset books out there. But read first thing in the morning. That's a way to build your mind. Some people don't like to read. They'd rather watch a video. Find an inspirational or educational video. Find something you can watch for 10 or 15 minutes, all kinds of great TED Talks out there and things like that. You can watch content that builds up your mind. You can also listen. I know a lot of you are big into listening. What you can do is just throw in the earbuds first thing in the morning. Maybe you're, making the coffee or, working on handwritten notes or whatever, but, throw on the audiobook and throw in the earbuds and listen to something that's really going to get you jazzed up and fired up, and something that's going to build up your skill set first thing in the morning. So again, number 1 you're building is your mind. Second thing I want you to build is your body. Every morning, do something to build your body, which could be super vigorous exercise. For me, it's I go in the basement and have an intense workout for 30 minutes, or sometimes I go for a run around my neighborhood. That usually takes me about 30 minutes. You can do that, or just stretch, do some yoga. Do some quick calisthenics, right? Knock out some push-ups or sit-ups, or just take a walk around the block. Just throw in the jacket. Maybe you have a pet. Take the dog out for a walk around the block. Maybe you do that anyway. Maybe let the dog out. But take a little bit longer walk. What you want to do is you just want to get the blood flowing. You want to get your body moving, because that will get your brain moving too. Some of you don't like to exercise first thing in the morning. That's fine. You're more of an afternoon exercise person. That's totally cool. What I would still encourage is do something in the morning first thing to move your body at least a little bit, just gets the blood flowing. The last thing to focus on in this framework is your soul. Every morning, do something to build your soul. For me, that's writing. All right, so when I'm writing, especially my gratitudes, and I'm really focused on that, that's a way to really build up my soul. For you, it could be meditation. It could be prayer. I know a lot of people that keep a prayer journal. I know a lot of people that meditate. That's the chance. That's the opportunity to build your soul. And what's fun is that you can connect these together. So certainly, like when you're exercising, you can focus on certain things. You can focus on your gratitudes while you're exercising. That's a way also to build up your soul. But the key, though, is to build all 3 every single morning. Build your mind, you build your body, you build your soul. Guys, this does not take more. It doesn't need to take more than really even a half hour. You can do this in an hour. I think an hour is a terrific amount of time. You could do it in as short as 30 minutes, probably not less than 30 minutes. But if you worked on your mind, your body, and your soul, each for 10 minutes, what would happen to your life? All right, so that is a little walk through the morning routine, the morning ritual. I hope you got some takeaways from this. I shared with you what it's meant for me, why morning is important in the first place. I walked you through my personal routine, gave you a framework to work on, work on your mind, your body, and your soul. And gosh, you're going to notice a huge, huge difference. If you like things like this, be sure to check out the website jointheleadingedge.com. It's a place where we take this even further. We go deeper on things like this. We have master classes that go deep into things like this that really improve your business, improve your life. Go check out the website, jointheleadingedge.com. In the meantime, cheers to you living life at the leading edge, and I look forward to seeing you on the next podcast. Take care. Bye.